welcoming you to our chair yoga for the care of Waldenstroms today. I'm so grateful in this week where we do practice gratitude leading up to Thanksgiving. So grateful for this community, whether it's your first time here or you've been here since the very first chair yoga class in 2021. I think that the biggest takeaway for me as a yoga therapist, the biggest surprise out of all of this that we've done, collaborated with over the years, is that community is as therapeutic as it has proven to be. That being with each other in this space, in and of itself, can be very connective and helpful, and especially at this time of year. So let's get started today. We're going to do a gentle practice that will combine some breath work, some simple repetitive movement, some strong poses to help build strength and bone, and then we'll wind down with a meditation at the end. So that's sort of the template for most of our sessions. Just wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up. We will be standing for some of these poses today, and if that's not something you feel up to, we can modify and do something different. So let's go ahead and get started by coming to a comfortable posture that is seated upright with your feet resting on the earth, on the floor below. And maybe you can kind of come away from the back of the chair, come to the edge of your chair so that you're supporting your body by using your core. And we'll just take a moment, take your glasses off if you're wearing glasses. We're going to take care of the eyes here. I'm rubbing my hands together, creating a little bit of warmth, infusing my hands with some compassion for myself. After all, that is why I'm here, to take care of myself, right? And maybe you're a caregiver and you're here to learn about what things you might help your WM friend or loved one do for themselves. But you need to take care of yourself too. So let's cup the palms loosely over the eyes. And I'm going to take a moment here under cover just to come into my own center. Maybe I could explore a couple breaths, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. Allowing the belly to soften and fill. Allowing yourself to just begin to arrive in any state of being. You could be a complete mess and you'd be completely welcome here. Maybe you want to roll the eyes around a little bit, lubricate the eyeballs and the eye sockets, stretch the eye muscles a little bit, looking up, looking down, side to side, and then eventually blinking the eyes open, separating the fingers so you can feel that light entering, and bringing the hands down. Maybe you want to put your glasses back on. Very good. And now I would love it if we could take a few bees breaths together. So just show of hands if you know bees breath pretty well by now in this group. That I'm seeing a lot of hands going up, and raise your hand if you've never practiced bees breath. So seeing maybe just a couple of people have never practiced bees breath. Bees breath is so named because we make a humming sound like that of a bee. This is good for a variety of situations. Are you feeling anxious? Bees breath. Are you feeling like you need to get more into your body, more grounded? Bees breath. Are you caring for immune system issues? Bees breath. Okay, so those are some reasons why I've chosen this as basically like our breath du jour, if you will. So this is something that I teach frequently and I recommend frequently, and many of you have told me you do frequently in those moments when you have something going on where you need extra support. So let's give it a try now. I'm going to rest a hand on my heart and a hand on my belly. And I'll take a few easy breaths here and just explore the movement of that breath, me breathing in, breathing out. And as we move into bee's breath, I want to invite you to just create whatever sound feels good. It's going to be a little sound, a little humming sound. And we're going to try to just keep the mouth closed for that sound. We want to keep all that nitric oxide in so that when we breathe it in, we can bring its antiviral, antibacterial properties into the respiratory system. So I'm breathing in, and as I exhale, you could close the eyes. Maybe you want to make a lower tone. Noticing where you feel the vibration in your body. Maybe taking 3 or 4 more breaths at your own pace. Maybe one more. And then releasing the hands down, allowing the vibration to continue to kind of resonate. And know that when you practice bee's breath, it's good to do it for like at least a minute. If you end up feeling dizzy as a result of that practice, I would recommend that you don't force your exhalations. You don't try to lengthen them forever and ever and ever. You don't have to hold that note as long as possible. So we're just trying to stimulate that nitric oxide to oscillate a little more quickly so we can deliver it to the immune system. So that's bee's breath. And so I would challenge you during this upcoming week, a lot of us have stressful things coming up, to practice bee's breath. Maybe it's the first thing you do in the morning and the last thing you do before you go to bed at night. Or maybe you can practice this as a transition before a doctor's appointment or before opening the test results or whatever it is you have going on. All right, so let's get into our body. Our collective body, right? I'm going to move my head from side to side. So just tilting that right ear towards the right shoulder. Coming back to center with a breath in. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Breathing into center. Breathing out to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Breathing into center. Breathing out to the right. Inhale. And exhale. And come on back to center and open both arms out to the side. See how much space you can take up with your wingspan. And of course, if you experience discomfort in one or both shoulders, you don't have to lift the arms as high as I am. Next up, I'm going to try to lift the chest and arch the back and maybe squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit. So it's like I've got a hand on my upper back, lifting my heart, and I might also lift my chin a little bit, take a breath in, And as I exhale, I'm going to bring my arms in front, interlace my fingers, pull the arms away from the back of my body. Right, so I'm creating that space in the upper body. Yeah, beautiful, without rounding my back. And then inhaling, opening, heart on a platter, lifting. Exhaling, closing, interlacing, pulling the arms away from the body. You've got it. Inhale, arms opening wide out to the sides, maybe even back a little bit more. And then we're bringing the hands in front, interlacing the fingers, pulling the arms away from the body. And you might want to take 2 or 3 more of these sort of chest opening and upper back stretching movements. Flowing with your breath. Skipping it if it's causing any kind of discomfort or pain. And it's amazing I have to say that. So many of us want to push through discomfort and pain because somebody's telling us to do something, me included. And now I'll sit up, press my palms away at about shoulder height or farther down if need be. And I'm just juicing up the fingers, lifting the palms up towards the ceiling as far as feels good to you, right? And maybe you don't get very far, and that's totally fine. I'm taking a big breath in and exhaling the arms down. Beautiful. So next up, I'm going to lift both arms straight up overhead. And as I exhale, I'm going to take a gentle twist to the right and bring my arms down by my side. I'm breathing into center, arms rising up. Breathing out, twisting to the left, arms coming down by your side. And moving from side to side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist right. All the air out. Inhale, center, arms rise. Exhale, twist left. So I'm using the core muscles to twist. One more on each side, breathing in. Breathing out, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. And then I'll inhale back to center, arms rising up, and bring the hands down through heart center, pressing the palms at the midline of the body. And I'm lifting my elbows up a little bit. So I've got a really prim and proper little posture here. And feeling the press of the palms, each individual finger. See if you can bring the palms all the way together. Push into the hands while relaxing the shoulders in our gesture of what's called Anjali Mudra. I think it would be really neat to change my name to Anjali someday. What do you think? Just kidding. I do really like that word, that is salutations. Basically, it means divine salutations. So, salutations to this entire community. All right, let's go ahead and release the arms down into the lap and just bring the right arm out to the right side. Maybe it's shoulder height. And maybe you can tip the fingers way back so you're getting a really big wrist stretch. And now we'll bring a lot of space between the fingers, like I'm palming a basketball. Big breath. And as I exhale, I'm going to make a fist around my thumb and drop my knuckles down. Inhale, lifting and spreading the fingers as wide as can be. Exhaling, knuckles down. Big wrist stretch. And one more inhale. And exhale. And then I'm just going to relax my right hand down into my lap. That's beautiful, Lois. Lifting the left arm out to the side, shoulder height. And I'm tipping my fingers way back, so I'm getting a really big wrist stretch again. Of course, if you're caring for like carpal tunnel or wrist issues, do what feels okay to you. Lots of space between the fingers. Breath in. Exhale, dropping those knuckles down, fist around the thumb. Breathing in, lifting, spreading. Breathing out, knuckles down. Got it, that's looking good, Renee. and lifting and spreading. Exhale, dropping those knuckles down. And then we'll just release the arm down into the lap and bring the right arm back out to the right. Palm is holding up that imaginary wall. And I'll tilt my left ear away from the arm and begin to circle that right palm. So little circles, and I'm just creating this self-care space all around me. The circle can move downward little by little. I'm breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, circle moving down. And then we can either take the hand behind the back or rest the hand on the hip, whichever feels better for you. And I'll just tilt my chin down. So I'm peeking down at my left shoulder, and I can feel a stretch in that upper right shoulder back area, neck area. Can you soften and let go of effort there for another breath? And then coming back to center, releasing that hand into the lap, just noticing for a moment the difference between the two sides of your body, the right arm and the left arm. And then we can bring the left arm out to the left, holding up that imaginary wall as we tilt the right ear towards the right shoulder. So it's a little tilt. I'm not turning my chin at all. I'm just tilting. You've got it. And then I'll circle my palm, little self-care circles, delineating my space. This is my space today. And that palm can move downward as we breathe. Circling ever downward, little by little. And eventually either resting the hand on the hip or taking the arm behind the back. Whatever feels better for you, that's good. I'm still tilting that right ear towards my right shoulder. And then additionally, I'll spin my chin down. So I'm peeking down at my right shoulder and taking a few easy breaths as I release effort from both shoulders. You've got it. You can always do less. You can always do more. And then I'm coming back up, and I'll release my arms down at my sides and just let the arms dangle there for a moment. Feel the lift in your heart, the feet on the earth. I like to take maybe about 10 arm salutes. So this is a great way to get the lymph fluid and the blood moving. Maybe there's a day you don't feel like doing much. Maybe you can do this. I'm going to inhale my arms out and up, reaching as far up as feels good. And as I exhale, I'm bringing the hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center, and hello again. Breathing in, arms out and up. Breathing out, you can move at whatever pace feels good. Maybe you close the eyes and really sort of focus on bringing into your sphere of being what it is you need. Reaching up and grabbing that, bringing it into being. Maybe it's focus, maybe it's calm, maybe it's just presence. We'll take 3 more. Hands to heart center and just closing the eyes for a moment and finding one thing that I am grateful for today in this moment. Just one thing. It could be the smallest thing, like a cup of warm tea or something more grandiose. Just finding one thing that you're grateful for and really allowing yourself to feel that feeling of gratitude. Kind of infuse your body with that, and that is can be connected to like a dopamine chemical release when we feel the sensation of gratitude. So there's one way we can improve quality of life right there. Is practice gratitude. Releasing from that, maybe you want to grab a little sip of water if you've got one standing by. And now I'll come into a wider stance. Coming into a wider stance, separating the feet apart. I'm still at the edge of my chair, so I'm doing this work in sitting up tall. And I'll begin to circle the torso. Easy circles. And if you decide, you know what, I have a little bit more energy, I want to stand for this, you can stand and make those hip circles instead of torso circles. We will, of course, come to stand in a moment or two, but you got to do you. So I'm circling the torso to wake up the spine, to stimulate the digestive juices to flow. So some of us might experience issues with digestion, such as constipation. And this might be a nice way to kind of get things moving. I'm going to circle in the other direction with my breath moving as well. And then I'll slowly meander my way back to center and take a moment just to take some circles over my belly. So I'm rubbing my belly, light touch, clockwise direction, again, stimulating digestion. And I'm going to let my belly be soft here. I'm going to let my belly be the shape it truly is. And just circling the hands lightly. This is something that also our lymph flow teacher provided us instruction on. This is something that she did to get the lymph fluid moving as well. We have all of these little things that we can do for lymph flow, which of course in turn can help support immune system function. And you could do that as long as feels good. Or if you're ready to move to another motion, we're going to go ahead and just stretch that right arm up. And I'm going to slowly, slowly lean to the left. So I'm getting a side stretch here, allowing my left shoulder to relax. And if this feels like too much on your arm, you can take the hand to the hip. But I want to really feel that length from the sit bone to the fingertip. I'm taking one more breath and exhaling back to center. That's beautiful. Such good range of motion here. Lifting the left arm up, leaning to the right. So I'm exposing that left side body. Taking a breath in, breath out, and releasing back to center. I'm going to flow from side to side, lifting the right arm up, leaning to the left, flowing to the other side. Maybe I want to think about breathing here. I still have my feet on the earth, seat in the chair, and I'm anchoring down through those anchoring points. You got it, Jennifer. Beautiful. Lifting one arm and then the other. So it's just a side bend that can be so helpful to keeping the muscles between the ribs supple to support our respiratory effort. Last one, left side lift. And then I'll bring my arms out to the sides in a cactus or goalpost shape. So I bent the elbows, my palms are facing forward, and I'll bring my arms together, press my forearms and my palms together with some resistance. I still have this nice wide stance. Inhale, open, bring the elbows back, push the heart forward. Exhale, squeeze. You got it. Inhale, open wide, elbows back. Exhale, squeeze, press palms, press forearms. Two more, inhale. Exhale. Last one, opening wide. And this time I'm actually going to just go in for the hug. So one arm on top, Doesn't matter which one, I'm tucking my chin. And I am just so grateful for this breath, this moment. Releasing the arms out to the sides, another hug, opposite arm on top. Tucking the chin, finding the breath. And then we'll release, bring the hands to hold onto the chair so that I can walk my feet in and out. I'm walking my feet in and out, and you can really feel that strength in your core. And we're getting the hip joints oiled up. Right? Think of those of you who care for osteoarthritis, which is basically all of us past a certain age, and it may affect other people differently. I think something like 95% have osteoarthritis in the knees after the age of 65 or something like that. Some statistic like that. I can't remember the exact statistic, but I want to be sure that on a daily basis, I am moving all of my joints so that I can bring that synovial fluid into the joints, and that can help. That can help me feel more mobile, and that can actually help the joint itself, the joint health, because that synovial fluid does a lot more than just lubricate. It actually helps bring nutrients into the joint and take away waste material. Okay, let's bring the feet back to center, and I'm doing this stir. Speaking of knees, I'm going to stretch that right leg all the way out. Keep the leg lifted. Big breath in. Exhale, plant the foot down. Great job. Left leg lift. Keep that leg lifted. Breath in. Exhale, release down. So imagining that synovial fluid now going into the knees as we lift one at a time, moving from side to side, lifting the left. Releasing, lifting the right, releasing, and one more, left side lift, release. Now I'm going to scoot my way to the back of my chair so I have support there, and I'm going to try lifting both legs up. I might bring my feet together, kind of zip up my legs like a mermaid's tail, and then I'll bring my arms straight out in front of me with the palms lifted. And then I'll wag my feet and my hands down and up. I don't know what I feel like here, like a little seal or something. I'm breathing in, breathing out, getting a really nice stretch for my shins and my calves, my wrists, my forearms. Juicing up the ankle joints. Maybe I take one more. Awesome. And then let's come away to the front of the chair again. And we'll do maybe like 3 sit to stands. So I'm practicing using my transition as an exercise itself, so that this is actually something that I can continue to do for as long as possible with ease. Coming up to stands and coming right back down, right? So you do this however feels good to you. Right, maybe you want to take the hands to the thighs, coming up out of the chair and coming right back down. Maybe you want to cross the hands over the chest for a little extra challenge. Maybe you want to swing the arms. And then when you're ready, I said just 3, but now we're at 5, right? We're going to come up to stand if that's what you're choosing to do today. And maybe you take this moment to take a sip. And whether you're seated or standing, we can take a moment to notice the feet. Excuse me. I'm noticing my feet, noticing my toes. So I've just sent my awareness down to my feet. And I'm going to try to lift all 10 toes and spread them out and dig them back down. And maybe I'm only imagining this happening. But my goal is to just at least bring awareness into my toes And maybe I can also lift the toes and spread them and dig them back down. So the only thing moving is either just the mind or the mind and the toes. Very good. And now let's go ahead and come up onto the tiptoes. I'm holding onto my chair, and release back down slowly. I'm breathing in, lifting up, and coming back down, just doing what you can, because I know some of us here have specific things going on in the lower limbs. So we're doing what we can, focusing on what we can do. Maybe you're looking to challenge your balance today, and you can take one or both hands off the chair and float your way up, float your way down. Find a place to gaze that's not moving. Become that bird as you lift up and lift down. You could have that bird in your mind's eye as we breathe in, lifting up as we breathe out, floating down, gentle landing. Let's do 3 more, and noticing this time where your weight is in your feet. Can it be on the inside where there's more of a structure to support you? Beautiful. And now I'll take a wider stance. I'm either standing or sitting. Either one is great. I'm going to lift that right arm up as if I'm reaching for a rope in the sky. And I'm going to let this left arm completely relax and even dangle. And I might reach up a little bit higher. Maybe I'm leaning to the left, so I've really opened up the right side body. Big breath in. And exhale, release that arm down. Left arm lift for that imaginary rope hoisting me up as the right arm relaxes and even dangles. And we'll do one more on each side. Right arm reach, left arm loose. You've got it. Left arm reach, right arm relax. And then I'll come back to center, and I'm just going to start marching in place, whether I'm seated or standing. If I'm really tired right now, and I can just focus on my breath, and I might count the next 5 breaths in a row. Marching in place. Moving your mind to the center of your being. Can you lift the knees up a little bit higher? Maybe you're holding on to your chair or support the whole entire time. That would be great. Maybe you're breathing. That would be great too. You've got it. And now I will come to do a little stretchy poo. I'm going to bring my hands to the back of my chair. Take some steps away from my chair. Hinge at the hip. My back stays sort of flat, not rounded. And I'm getting a big stretch to the backs of both legs, and hopefully feeling a little bit of length in my spine. Some length in my spine. And then I'm slowly coming up, walking towards my chair, and bending both knees, bringing the hips back. So I'm sinking down into my chair pose, isometrically pushing my feet apart so that I've really engaged my glute muscles. I'm not jutting my chin forward or rounding my back, so I have a nice upright spine. That's good, Joyce. And pulling the belly towards the spine. This is quite a difficult pose. Quite a difficult pose, but we build the strength to do things like walk up the steps, get up out of bed, etc. Maybe you want to lift the arms up as well, straight out from the shoulders. And then we can do a little flow here. We can straighten the legs, lift the arms up. Exhale, sink back down, chair pose, so strong. I'm going to do 2 more. Inhale, lift and straighten. You got it, Joe. That's beautiful. Sinking down, so strong. And last one, inhale. Exhale, I'm going to hold here. I'm going to bring my hands to heart center. Remember, I'm not alone in this. Big breath. And then releasing back to my stretch, my down dog stretch, where I walk my feet back. And I hinge at my hip, folding forward, arms holding onto my chair. Just finding a breath or two. I'm going to release back up. And then let's go ahead and stand on one leg. So we'll start with the weight in the right foot. I'm picking up my left leg, hugging it in, or maybe I'm just doing this in my mind's eye. Practicing standing on one leg, practicing purposefully finding my edge, right? So that might mean I let go of the chair for a moment and I can allow myself to relax into that wobble, which inevitably for me shows up. If it does not show up for you, you can close the eyes and that might help you find your edge. Purposefully want to find my edge so that I can work towards improving, right? So once you fall out of it, we're going to switch sides. Weight in the left foot. Pick up the right leg. And I am trying to find my edge on this side. It might come more quickly. It might be harder to find. Standing on one leg. Finding that place to gaze that's not moving. And this could be one of those things you do every day while you're waiting for something boring, right? You know, the tea to boil or steep. And then I'm releasing and just walking it out, making any other standing movements that my body's asking for. Maybe we'll do some hip circles, and then we're going to go ahead and sit back down. So, not a lot of standing stuff today, but just enough. Just enough. So I'm going to come back to my seat mindfully. I might take a chair pose on the way to my chair, right? So I'm bending my knees, bringing my hips back, and gradually sitting down, going as slowly as I can. You got it, Judith. I'm right there with you. Beautiful. Excellent job. And then I'll, take your sip, do whatever you need to do. I'm going to finish up our session here with our usual two stretches, our hip stretch and our little twist. And then we'll do a very short body scan. So let's cross the right ankle over the left knee. And I am reaching my heart forward without rounding my back. I'm not going to force this. I'm going to let my shoulders relax. Maybe even bring my gaze down to the earth or close my eyes. Such a nice stretch for the hip and for those glute muscles that we worked in our chair pose today. You got it, Gordon. Let's come up, cross the knee over. Find an easy breath in. As you exhale, slow twist to the right. I'm using my core muscles and I'm not going to go very far here. So especially if you're, caring for any issues in the spine, like thoracic compression fractures or severe osteoporosis, we're not going to do a really deep twist. Come on back to center and we'll switch it up. Left ankle over the right knee. The side could feel vastly different. And I'm just leaning my heart forward, no rounding of the back, no jutting of the chin. Just relaxing and finding the amount of sensation that feels right to me. sitting up when I'm ready to sit up, crossing that knee all the way over. As we breathe in, we sit up tall. As we breathe out, we take that gentle twist to the left. Right? Taking extra care if I have issues in the spine. I'm softening the shoulders here and using those core muscles to twist. And then letting myself come back to center and taking one last stretch, arms overhead. Making any other movements that the body is asking for, and then finding a very comfortable way to sit. So if you want to sit, you can sit. And in fact, if you would like to recline, even better. If you have a place where you can easily get into a reclining posture, you can take a moment to get into that Shavasana pose, that letting go pose. And then we'll go ahead and close our session with a very short body scan. Just taking a moment to shift the body so you feel stable and secure and supported. And we're going to release our effort little by little. So as we take a breath in, we're moving the awareness to the base of the skull. As we exhale, we're just going to release effort from the neck, from the shoulders. Taking a breath in and moving the mind to all of the muscles in the face, relaxing. Smoothing out all of the muscles in the face as if you were just wearing a mask of mindfulness. And this is something that you can put on when need be, in various times when you need to kind of like hold it together. Just relaxing the muscles in the face, relaxing the jaw. Moving the mind down the back of the body, down the length of the spine. From that base of the skull down to the tailbone, the entire spine. And just letting the spine rest. All of the muscles surrounding the spine. Maybe you're somebody who experiences ongoing tenderness in the lower back. See if you could allow the lower back to just sort of widen and spread. Moving the awareness down to the hips, letting the hips be heavy, down the legs, all the way to the feet, all 10 toes. You could take a breath in, and as you exhale, just allowing the entire body, from the head to the fingers to the toes, to relax. And maybe there are parts of the body where you are still feeling tight or tense. We're just observing that. Noticing what that is, not trying to label or judge. And we'll take a moment to just soften the belly and bring the awareness to the lower and the upper abdomen. And allowing that to move with the breath, in and out with the breath. and with the whole body relaxing, releasing effort, and with the belly soft and full, breathing in, breathing out. We can now just move the attention to the heart space, the area at the center of the chest. And I will invite you to just imagine a small almond-shaped flame flickering in the heart center that as you breathe in grows and radiates, and as you breathe out flickers back right into that center of the chest. And the warmth of this small but powerful flame can spread right to the whole entire physical body. As we breathe in, radiating out from heart center, as we breathe out, just bringing the awareness, resting the awareness in that heart space. And just like we have a word for mind space, Chidakash, we have a word for heart space, Hridakash, in Sanskrit, Hridakash. So we'll take several more breaths here, building the flame, allowing it to radiate even outside the confines of the physical container of your body. And there's always that little pilot light there that you can get started with just awareness and breath. And finally, in your mind's eye and in your heart space, you can imagine all of these little heart flames flickering in our community right now. And if we were to put them all together, what a gigantic, beautiful bonfire that would be. Just for a moment, joining the flame together. And you can even picture all the colors, right, that you might see in a fire, the beautiful golden tones and even blue tones. And just feeling the warmth and the radiance of this community in this moment as we begin to come back into our physical bodies and the room around us. Knowing this pilot light is there, we can always light it with our awareness, with our breath. And we'll close our session with the hands at heart center. You can keep the eyes closed or open them, whatever feels good. And I'll just seal our practice today with the sounds of 1 Om and 3 Shantis. Shanti is the word in Sanskrit for peace. And if you want, you can make those sounds with me wherever you are, or just listen. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And thanking you so much for your practice today, friends. Namaste.